Y'all, if you like true crime, this story is very, very interesting. So stay and listen to it, but it's also very heartbreaking for a number of reasons. Almost 3 whole decades after a teenage Montana girl was found deceased near a fishing spot, a married father of 2 was identified as her suspected killer. However, he took his own life just a few days ago, and this was just a few hours after he was interviewed by investigators. The teenage girl who was killed was 15-year-old Danielle Danny Houchins, and advanced DNA testing and forensic genealogy led authorities to identify 55-year-old Paul Hutchinson as her killer. Reportedly, Danny left her home in Belgrade, Montana at around 11 a.m. on September 1st, 1996, and she unfortunately never came back. After her mother reported that she went missing, her mom found Danny's truck. It was at the Cameron Bridge fishing access point, and that was on the Gallatin River. Later that night, after her truck was found on the same day, her body was found lying face down in a shallow body of water. So DNA evidence was collected at the scene, and several suspects were interviewed by authorities over the years, but it was said that the case eventually went cold. Then in 2021, a private investigator was hired to help with the investigation. Reportedly, hair that was collected from Danny's body was sent to labs in California and Virginia, and it was then that Paul was identified as a suspect. So then on July 23rd, so just, not long ago, a week or two ago, he was interviewed by detectives. It was said that it was about a 2.5-hour interview, and Paul appeared to be super nervous, and he showed signs that he was just really uncomfortable. When he was shown a picture of Danny, he allegedly started to sweat badly and scratched his face and chewed on his hand. It was said that when he was released from the interview, his behavior was erratic. Then the very next morning after the interview, Paul called the Beaverhead County Sheriff's Office saying that he needed assistance, and then he hung up. When deputies went to his location, he was found on the side of the road with a self-inflicted GSW. Now, Danny's younger sister stated that when the time came for him to face up and account for his violence, he instead chose to end his life. She stated that he knew of his guilt. He couldn't face Danny's family or his family and the pain he had caused and was about to cause. Reportedly, Danny and Paul had no connection whatsoever before he killed her. Investigators said that the killing was a crime of opportunity. They think that the two of them somehow randomly encountered each other at the river, and that Paul raped her and then suffocated her in shallow water. It was also said that at the time of Danny's murder, Paul had just become a college student at Montana State University. That was where he eventually graduated with a degree in fisheries wildlife biology. He reportedly worked for the State Bureau of Land Management for 22 years. He had no criminal history, not even traffic violations. So while I am glad that they found out who her killer finally was, I hate that he took the cowardly way out, because now justice won't be served in that area. I will say my heart hurts for both families. I can't imagine what his family is feeling right now. I'm sure they're both sad he took his own life and shocked that he allegedly killed someone. I read that his wife Christy made a post online saying that they had been married for 24 years, that there was never any hint that something like this could be lurking in the background. She stated that Paul was both an exceptional husband and father, and she stated that the latest news made their grieving so much more complicated, and I can imagine. I told y'all my dad took his life. SUICIDE is just a different type of grief, and then you add this, I can't even imagine. She also stated that her family's hearts go out to Danny's family. It was a very well-written post, and I believe that it came from her heart, and it was well-written and professional. She also stated that her family was glad that Danny's family had the closure they needed. So prayers definitely go out to everyone involved in this case. I do want to say that this story gives little glimpses of hope for other cold cases and missing persons cases. Oftentimes it takes years for cases to be solved or people to be found, but there is hope. If you want more true crime, please give my website a visit at www.truecrimewithmegan.com, and don't forget to hit the follow button.